Welcome to the Knights specific build. This time we're gonna be covering up Pyros, and we'll open up the builds here. So as a Knight, you're more of a supportive character, but you also want to focus on DPS. So going all out strength is the optimal for you. Nothing else would matter unless you're really new to the game. Health is a really good option for you to survive a little bit longer and learn the fight and such. Now heading to the skill build, we're going off a lot on the left side, and the reason for that is the prerequisite for certain skills requires a lot of points on the left side. But going off first, Stinging Flurry is going to be your main attack. Using this will also be available when the host pops up. Same thing as Berserker, when you whirlwind or death spin under the hole, then you can do the same thing with Stinging Flurry. Aim towards the boss and start stabbing him with the skill. So you'll be safe on the first phase, and for the second phase as well, just staying under the hole and stabbing. Just make sure that you run out of the hole when he does the AoE on the second phase. As for Divine Strike, this is similar to Earthquake, and as for Berserker, you use this every 8 seconds though, and it is a lot of damage. So playing as a Knight, you're filling in as a DPS role, but also a supportive role. The reason why you want to put a lot of points on the offensive part is because of you want to dish out as much DPS because you want to skip the phases, you want to push to the second phase, so it's a lot more easier for your party members to just stay on one spot instead of chasing the boss all the time in the first phase. Now for chasing part, we have Typhoon Slash and we have Drill Thrust. So Drill Thrust does a little bit more damage than Shield Charge, and it doesn't use any stamina, so it's a good 8-second cooldown skill that you can use to chase or to land the last hit when you finish chasing the boss, because he always ends up in one corner. And for mobility, when the boss tries to use the Fire Breath or tries to use the laser or the fart, as I call it, maybe it's the tail slam or whatever, you can move around with Typhoon Slash and then end up being in the hole in case you're standing too much stationary with the Stinging Flurry. You have the Typhoon Slash to move to the side to avoid damage, and you end up being in a hole or safe spot. Now Iron Shield, we're not going to cover anything of that. You don't need to block anything here. That's for Balrog from the second video. Shield Wall is recommended for the other skills as well as Warhorn. You don't use any of these skills. In my opinion, I don't use any Warhorn at all because it consumes 40 Spirit, but Shield Wall is pretty good for the third Fire Breath on the second phase. But we're covering up by using Bulwark and Defender of the Fate. So these two skills will be used on the second phase when he does the Flame Breath. You don't really have to use this if you rely on the Priest to heal up everything. I feel like you could just let the Priest have a good time or love you for being a Knight, because you are a Knight after all. You're supposed to tank and mitigate damage. So Bulwark and Defender of Fate, you can block the two first Fire Breath, or what you could do is you let the boss do the first Fire Breath, let the healer take care of it, and then the second Fire Breath and the laser, you can shield them, your party member to not run up or jump up to the pillar to avoid the laser, so you just shield them through the laser, and that's about it. And for the third breath after the laser, you can use the shield wall. So there's a lot of opportunity there for your party members to do a different strat in comparison to the pugs, because you never have a Knight sometimes with you, or sometimes you just run without the Knight. And this is just a filler for or a build for Knights to go for Pyros by playing effectively, increasing the damage by putting up a shield for the party so you don't have to avoid or jump away. Likewise with the Stinging Flurry, where you can DPS a lot while you're being in the hole. So Bulwark and Defender Fate, forgot to mention, you can use it on the first phase as well. Block 2 lasers at the very beginning if you're coordinated with your team. it will increase the DPS a lot because they don't have to hide under the holes or jump down to the ferries. But yeah, this is the skill build for a knight specific to Pyros. I hope you guys enjoy it. There are other builds as well, like shield toss, but I feel like as a knight you kind of want to fulfill your DPS role, because obviously people can just replace it for DPS and do the other mechanics. So having a high DPS as well as having the shields will allow your other DPS players to survive or to not interrupt their own attacks, so you can continue with the DPS. But yeah, that's all for the Knight Pyros build. I'll see you guys in the Baldur build.